Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a foundation first impression demo and full review over the new YSL All Hours foundation. I posted a video on the Bare Pro foundation by Bare Minerals about a week or so ago, and I had a lot of requests to do this foundation next. This one and also the Estee Lauder foundation, which I couldn't find in my local Nordstrom. So I was able to pick this up from Sephora, and I'm so excited to review it for you guys. So to give you kind of the stats of this foundation, I have my notes right there, so if I keep glancing over there, that is why. It's the YSL All Hours foundation. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet, so this is a complete first impression. I got this yesterday. It retails for $58, and you get, so you don't even get a full fluid ounce. You get 0.84 fluid ounce. Usually you get like a full ounce in a foundation, so it's a little bit less. It is described as a medium to full coverage. It is 24-hour long wear, and it's also waterproof. I don't know why anyone needs a foundation to wear 24 hours, but I think that that's like the new bar, you know. I think the Bare Pro is also 24 hours, so it's just like the new standard in foundations. But for me, you know, if I can get 10 hours out of foundation, I'm pretty happy. It comes in 22 different shades. It has a soft matte finish, which I like. I think that full coverage, when you can find a full coverage foundation that has a matte but not such a cakey heavy finish, is really, really nice. So we're going to see if it lives up to that. And it does have an SPF of 20. I do want to read you a couple of things that it says on the website, because I was kind of jotting down my notes over here for you, and I was reading this and I was like, this is just too good to not read you guys. So it says it's an all hours 24-hour advanced formula, won't cake, dry, flake, or fade. It is transfer proof, oil free, and non-pore clogging. This foundation stands up to makeup meltdowns by combining Move With You flexible pigments and skin-loving ingredients for better, flawless coverage and skin that feels fresh and comfortable from day to night. Very good. Instantly blur and erase imperfections, pores, dullness, and unevenness. Skin looks flawless for up to 24 hours thanks to the highest concentration of ultra-fine, oil-absorbing pigments that cover and smooth perfectly, yet resist fading, heat, humidity, dryness, and touch. Finally, this formula is infused with a black tea antioxidant complex for additional skincare that combats the signs of dullness and fatigue while protecting skin from pollution. Okay, and today is like the perfect day to test a foundation, because I just had I keep calling it microplaning, I had dermaplaning yesterday, and I actually filmed a video which will go up before this video goes up, so I will link that video down below. I had dermaplaning done yesterday. Excuse me. So my skin is so smooth. I mean, it's so smooth. You can actually see, wait, sorry, I have a monitor here and everything's opposite for me, but you can kind of see I have a little kind of scrape here from the blade, and then I woke up with a little bit here as well. So my skin is still real sensitive right there, but dermaplaning is basically, like, in short, it's shaving your face. I went to an esthetician. She has a small little surgical blade, and she just kind of shaves my entire face. So it removes the top layer of dead skin. It removes all the hair off the face. It's like a pretty aggressive exfoliating treatment. So if you're curious about that, I will link that video down below so you can see it. So my skin is so smooth right now. I'm so excited to put foundation on it. I didn't wear any makeup yesterday, so I have no idea how my makeup is gonna look. But I hear that it looks amazing, because if you think about it, and you have all that peach fuzz on your face, when you wear especially a heavier full coverage foundation, it tends to just like show all of that, and I don't have any of that, so I'm excited to see. So I don't have anything on my skin. I have eyeshadow obviously on, and I did put a little bit in my brows, and let's go ahead and get started. So it's YSL, so it's of course the packaging is really, really nice. It comes in this frosted glass bottle, kind of a square top. This reminds me of the same shape of their Fusion Ink foundation that was probably actually the last YSL foundation I purchased, which was a few years ago. It does have a pump, which is nice. I picked up the shade Warm Bisque. So I picked up the shade Warm Bisque, BD45. I tend to go a little bit lighter on my foundations than I am on my body, and then I just like to compensate with bronzer, because I do like my foundation to be more of like kind of my natural skin tone and not the skin tone of my self tanner. Okay, so let's give this a try. I'm really excited to try this. I'm gonna apply it 2 ways. I'm gonna use the Beauty Blender on one side and a foundation brush on the other side. The only thing I have on my skin is moisturizer. I have the Dermalogica SPF 50 moisturizer on. Because dermaplaning does expose your skin to sunburn, you have to make sure you use a lot of SPF. So I've actually layered that on twice today, even though it's raining. This is the weekend of the hurricane, Hurricane Harvey in Texas. So it's raining. We don't really have any plans. We're going to kind of be inside all day. Actually, my husband and I are hoping to go to a movie tonight, but I'm going to take you around throughout the day and you guys will see how this looks throughout the day. Okay, I'm rambling. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start with 1 pump. Okay, well, 1 pump is not much. That's 1 pump. I think I'm going to need a little bit more than that. Okay, so that's the consistency. It is slowly moving down my hand. It's not so thick that it doesn't budge, but it's not really liquidy to where it just rapidly, slides down the hand. Okay, I think this is going to be a good shade. We're going to start with the Beauty Blender first. I'm going to start in the center of my face. I say this all the time, but just in case this is the first video of mine that you've watched, the center of the face is where we tend to have the most discoloration or blemishes that we need to cover. So I always like to start with my foundation there because the first place you put your Beauty Blender is going to be where you deposit the most product, right? As you start to bounce it off the skin, it's going to have less and less product, and I want that to be on the perimeters of my face because 1, I don't need a lot of coverage there, and 2, I don't want to have a line from the foundation there. Okay, so let me pick this mirror up a little bit. So it's pretty good coverage. It's doing a pretty good job of covering that little kind of chappedness I have from the dermaplaning. I'm going to put a little bit more there. We're going to do my nose, around my mouth. It doesn't look like a very heavy foundation at all. The coverage is really good, but it doesn't look heavy yet. And the finish, it says that it's a soft matte finish. I don't really think that it's matte quite yet. I feel like it's kind of a little dewy. Let's give it some time to set. Okay, let's do the forehead. So I think that 2 pumps is going to cover about half of my face with a Beauty Blender. I find that usually a Beauty Blender I have to use more product, so we'll see when I apply it with a brush if I need that much or if I can get away with using a little less. Although I think you might need to do 2 pumps anyway because 1 pump is not that much at all. Yeah, 2 pumps covered about half the face with a Beauty Blender. But each pump doesn't apply a lot. It's still not like you're using a whole lot of product even though you are using a couple of pumps. Okay, so let's stop there so you guys can see. The right side has foundation, the left side doesn't have anything. You can kind of tell. I think the coverage is definitely medium to full. I still need a little more coverage over that spot there. The finish to me doesn't quite look matte yet. I think it's drying down to it, but it doesn't really quite look matte yet. I'm going to put a little bit more over that scrape. Not even a half a pump, I just kind of squeezed out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to leave it right there. All right, so I'm going to move on to the left side and we're going to see if this dries down because to me this doesn't quite look matte yet. The brush I'm choosing to use is the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. I've been loving this as a foundation brush recently. And again, I'm going to start in the center of my face. I'm kind of in love with dermaplaning, you guys. I think this might be something that I keep up with. Allison, who's the esthetician that did my procedure, said that people can come about every 6 weeks. I don't know that I'll be able to make it that frequently, but I think that this is something I'll do probably a couple of times a year. Definitely for like an event. It makes your skin look very glowy, very smooth. My pores look smaller. Okay, so you definitely use less by applying it with a brush, for sure. That's very obvious to me because I used 1 pump for this and I have this much left. And I don't need any more, I think, I don't need any more here. I'm going to put a little bit on my forehead. Yeah, so I think with this foundation, a brush is the way to go. A good buffer brush like this though. So you're still going to get the benefits of like you would with a Beauty Blender, meaning you're still going to have more of a natural finish even though you're using a heavy foundation, but you just use less. And I think it almost works a little quicker. Put a little bit right there. This is probably more than I need and more than I would use on a day-to-day basis, but I do want to kind of see how this builds up when you put more on the skin. Okay, let's take a quick look and then I'm going to go and complete the rest of my makeup. Okay, so I just applied it. I really haven't allowed it time to set. To me, the finish looks kind of satiny. It doesn't look matte to me at all. I mean, you can still, and it might too be, I think it also might be because I did have dermaplaning done and my skin is so smooth and glowy that that's probably affecting the way that this foundation is finishing. But to me, it doesn't look very matte quite yet. Let's go ahead and apply my concealer and the rest of my makeup, and I think by the time I come back, it will have set and we'll see the finish. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got all my makeup on. I did feel the need to set it with a powder. Even after a few minutes, it never quite got as matte as I expected it to. It's described as a soft matte finish, but honestly to me it kind of was more of a satin finish. And again, that might be because I had dermaplaning done and my skin texture is different than it would be, say, if I didn't have it done. So that's probably something to take into consideration. If you have this foundation and it sets to a matte finish on you, let me know that in the comment section below. But I did set it with a little bit of a translucent powder. I just used the MAC Prep and Prime pressed because it's what I had nearby. If I were downstairs in my bathroom, I probably would have used the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening or the translucent one by her, the loose powder, but that worked. This worked for now. So it is, what time is it? It's 12 o'clock, it's noon. I am gonna, for the most part, be indoors today. We hopefully will be able to go to a movie and dinner tonight if the rain doesn't get too out of control. But I will check in with you throughout the day, and I don't plan on washing my face until late this evening. So you guys will get to see this foundation in a good, at least 10 hours. I will give you guys at least 10 hours, and I will check in with you, and I will not touch up. So I will see you guys in just a bit. Hey guys, so it is just about 4 o'clock. So I've had the foundation on for 4 hours. We did get out of the house. We've been running errands for the last couple of hours. It is Saturday during this Hurricane Harvey. So we don't live by the coast, so we're not experiencing a hurricane right now, but we are experiencing a ton of rain. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like outside right now. So I don't even know if you can tell, but it is just like, it's just been raining constant nonstop. So it's very, very humid here in Austin. Not hot, it's not really hot or anything, but it's just very humid, and I've been out in the rain, just getting in and out of the car. So I did look at the foundation just now, and it is pretty dewy. Like, I definitely feel like I want to touch up with powder. So it hasn't really stayed matte on me at all. I don't really even feel like it ever was truly matte. I set it with powder right after I applied it, and it mattified it, but it's been pretty dewy for the most part. However, I really think that me getting this dermaplaning done yesterday is the reason why it looks so dewy. Allison, who's the esthetician who did my dermaplaning yesterday, did say, and you'll see it in the video when it goes up, because that video will go up before this one probably. If not before this one, then they'll be back to back. But anyway, she did say that your foundation feels a little stickier when it goes on the skin right after you've had dermaplaning done. So I think that's what's going on, because it does look pretty dewy to me. I think much more dewy than it is described as being. But I think it's beautiful. I think it's really nice. Let me grab this mirror and check. Yeah, I think it's a really pretty foundation so far. It's definitely more on the heavier full coverage side. It doesn't feel as heavy as the Bare Pro, the Bare Minerals foundation that I wore last week. It doesn't feel as heavy on the skin, but it has a similar kind of look, in my opinion. Full coverage, a little heavier, more made up, just doesn't feel as heavy, if that makes sense. But yeah, I just wanted to check in with you. So it's 4 o'clock. We are gonna go to dinner, an early dinner, and a movie tonight. So I will probably be checking back in with you guys after the movie, which will be around 9 p.m. or so. So yeah, I hope you guys have, oh wait, I wanted to tell you something. So I'm so excited. Face Atelier, which is the company that makes that foundation that I rave about, the Face Atelier Ultra Foundation. I'm gonna link that video down below. It's my all-time favorite foundation. I think it's absolutely beautiful. They contacted me and they were like, you know, thank you so much for supporting us and for sharing our foundation. They've had a lot of you guys that have reached out to them, I guess, to order the product. So anyway, they sent me some products and I'm so excited. I want to do a video on the products that were in the lip gloss that they sent me, but I'm going to show you. So they sent me another one of their foundations. It's this one here. It's the Face Atelier Ultra Skin. So I talked about the Ultra Foundation. This is the Ultra Skin. And I've worn this one day so far and I really like it. So I want to do a video actually kind of using the products that they sent me. But they sent me some lip products and they sent me their concealer also, which I've worn and I like. But I'm excited to share these with you guys because just because I think they're a great brand and they don't really get much, you don't really hear much about them. So anyway, that's a different topic in a different video. I just wanted to tell you guys because I put the lip gloss on for this check-in and I just wanted to tell you that that video will be coming soon. Okay guys, I will see you guys in just a bit. Okay, so it is 6 o'clock. Our date night we had scheduled today was canceled. We went to the mall and we had a movie booked, so we had dinner at Nordstrom first and then walked over to the movie theater. And as we were walking, I noticed all the stores were closing because of the hurricane. Even though we're not getting a hurricane here in Austin, we have a ton of rain and a storm coming. But yeah, when we got to the theater, they were like, we're closing at 6. You can't watch your movie. So anyway, our date night has since been changed. But it is 6:15 and this is the current state of the foundation. Don't mind this. This is concealer, so this has nothing to do with the foundation. Let me look here in the mirror because honestly, I haven't looked. So I still think it looks pretty good. Around my nose, it's definitely very shiny and dewy and kind of gathering here in the like creases of my nose. But I think it looks good. It looks a lot more dewier, is that a word? If it's not, I just made it, than I expected it to. But I really think that that's a result of the dermaplaning that I had done yesterday because my skin is so smooth that there's like no hair or anything for it to kind of stick to. And Allison did tell me that my skin would that the foundation would feel a little stickier the first day or two. So I think that that's why it looks more dewy or satin. But I think it looks pretty actually. My blush is not looking so cute here. And this right here is like from the dermaplaning. I have a little kind of raw patch there. And also one here, so don't mind that. But overall, I think it looks really good. It's been on for now just over 6 hours, and I think it's pretty good. No touch-ups. Obviously, I probably would have touched up by now. I wouldn't have left it like this, but I think that it's a pretty foundation. I like the way my makeup looks. So I'm gonna check in with you guys later. I think what we're gonna do is just go to our neighbor's house and watch the fight. So I will check back in with you in a couple hours. Hey guys, so it's actually a different day. I failed you guys on my last check-in over the weekend. I was filming that portion of the video on Saturday, and I meant to come back and do my final check-in later that evening. We went over to our neighbor's house to watch the fight, and I had a few glasses of wine, and I just completely forgot to film that last check-in. So I was really bummed about that, but rather than refilm the entire video, I thought I would just wear this foundation to work today, wear it a full 10 hours, and then check in with you after 10 hours of wear so you could see how it looks. So that's what I did. It is about 6 p.m. It's 5:45. I put this on about 6:45, so what is that? Is that 11 hours? That's 11 hours of wear. I haven't touched it at all. You can see that it's pretty shiny and dewy. I mean, it definitely is overdue for a powder, but I didn't touch it at all. I would not describe this foundation as a matte finish foundation. I don't feel like it really ever got matte. I did set it with powder and it mattified it some, but it's definitely more of a satin finish foundation in my opinion. That's how it wears on me. And as far as the coverage, I think it's medium to full coverage. I mean, it does cover pretty well, but I don't know that I love it. I don't know that I love it. It's not a bad foundation. I just don't know that it's one that I would rave about and like suggest everyone run out and buy, especially because it is more of a luxury product line and it is expensive. I think it's like $58 or somewhere around there. So I don't know. I don't really feel comfortable giving it tons and tons of praise because it's good, but it's just not knock your socks off, or at least not on me. I was getting my nails done today and I was watching Tati's review on this foundation and she loves this foundation. She raved about it. I think she called it like the world's best full coverage foundation. So it just goes to show that different foundations work well on different people and different skin types. So just because it looks really oily on me and it's not a foundation that I'm in love with doesn't mean that you won't love it. So if it is a foundation that you love, no offense. And if it is a foundation that you are curious about, maybe still go get a sample and try it for yourself, because you might have a different experience. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic week or weekend if I get this up on Friday or next week. I hope you guys have a great one, and I will see you guys in my next video.